Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Recent form of Warriors rival has reignited shock trade possibility. This was always the worry entering the new NBA season, that the league's two most legendary players would be on average teams entering the twilight of their careers. Both the Golden State Warriors and Los Angeles Lakers started the season strong, but have since fallen into some issues that have fans questioning the direction of both franchises. The Warriors began 12-3, which had them top of the Western Conference, but despite an impressive win over the Minnesota Timberwolves on Sunday, they're only 2-6 in their last 8 games. The Lakers were similarly 10-4 through 14 games, but have since lost 7 of their last 10 to fall to 8th in the West standings. The declining form of both teams has reignited discussions of a potential LeBron James to Golden State trade, with the Warriors having pursued the 4x MVP prior to last season's deadline. Speaking prior to Milwaukee's visit to Boston on Friday, ESPN's Brian Windhorst revealed that there's once again been discussions on whether James would revisit a potential move to the Bay. "I'm very interested in all of this. I'd be lying if I said that there hasn't been some conversations in the league with LeBron at some point this year, like, revisit that. Because you remember at the trade deadline last year, the Warriors called," Windhorst said. Windhorst also labeled any possible Golden State trade as very complicated, with the franchise unable to take on more than $500,000 in a trade because they're right up against the first tax apron. James is currently making $48.7 million this season, making matching salaries difficult but not impossible. The 39-year-old has a $52.6 million player option for next season, allowing him to potentially opt out and become an unrestricted free agent. James missed Sunday's win against the Portland Trail Blazers, having come off 29 and 39-point performances and losses to the Miami Heat and Atlanta Hawks. The 21-year veteran is still averaging 23 points, 8.0 rebounds, and 9.1 assists, shooting 49.5% from the floor and 35.9% from three-point range. A James to Golden State move would be one of the biggest trades in NBA history, even at this pointy end of his career. James and Curry unsurprisingly worked beautifully in unison for Team USA at the Paris Olympics, having won the gold medal while both being named to the All-Star 5. The Warriors are yet to face the Lakers so far this season, with the two teams set to meet for the first time on Christmas Day at Chase Center. Are we already doing LeBron James trade nonsense again? Because it's a day that ends in Y, and because ESPN has about 5 topics that rotate through, we have LeBron James trade discourse. Despite there being absolutely zero indication whatsoever that LeBron James is seeking a trade or the Lakers are in a situation where they might be open to doing so, known NBA insider, heavy dose of sarcasm, Kendrick Perkins went on ESPN on Tuesday morning and reported that, as opposed to last year, LeBron and his camp would potentially entertain a trade offer this season. There are so many things to unpack to prove how ridiculous this notion is that it's not even worth it. Perk isn't a reporter and never has been. LeBron hasn't asked for a trade and nothing has indicated he wants to, and the Lakers aren't shopping LeBron and never have. But outside of that, totally a plausible scenario. We are 5 months removed from LeBron not only re-signing with the Lakers, but reportedly being open to taking a pay cut to help the team out. Nothing about the team's situation has changed from July to December, so why would LeBron's entire approach to being on the Lakers roster change? And if all that were true, which I guess is a possibility despite all of the comments from Clutch Sports' Rich Paul and LeBron being about how they are motivated to remain Los Angeles, how did Perk, of all people, get the scoop? It hasn't even been a year since Paul had these comments on LeBron. He's committed to the Lakers. Jeannie's been an incredible partner for him and us, and I think it's important for that to be understood and to be respected. Obviously, there's ups and downs and emotions throughout the course of a season, but, ultimately, LeBron's committed to the Lakers. Yes, the Warriors asked about LeBron last season. And they were summarily moved aside and nothing more has come of it. Since that moment in February, the Lakers drafted LeBron's son. Suddenly, then, he wants out of that situation? Color me incredibly skeptical of this whole situation. It feels like nothing more than ESPN drumming up a talking point out of absolutely nothing that they can now spend a week debating about with so few games on during the NBA Cup. Could the Lakers trade for Jimmy Butler? In a bit of a surprising move, Jimmy Butler became likely the biggest name to be on the trade block this season. On Monday, Shams Charania of ESPN reported that the Heat would be open to listening to offers on Butler. The Lakers weren't one of the teams mentioned in the piece. Houston, Dallas, and Golden State were, but it's the Lakers and they'll almost always be linked to the top names available. The Heat have remained competitive but appear far from the elite in the East. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the defending champion Boston Celtics have not lost as many games combined as Miami has so far. With the Heat willing to hear offers, is there a path for the Lakers to Butler? The theoretical answer is yes, but finding a trade that doesn't decimate the entire roster is nearly impossible. For one, with the Lakers up against the second apron, they can't take more money back in a deal, which greatly complicates matters. A deal that could bring Butler to LA would require at least a handful of quality Lakers to make the math work, with Butler making $48.8 million this season. Such a move would likely include the team trading away at least 3 of D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, and Austin Reeves just to make the math work. While this would give the Los Angeles star power, it would also take away at least 3 of their dependable role players and a player in Reeves, who the team has been very hesitant to include in trade talks in recent seasons. Not to mention, Vondo has yet to play and might not be someone the Heat would be willing to take due to his current health and the fact he's only in the first year of his 4-year extension. That's not to speak about whether the Heat want more value in the players they acquire, either. If that becomes the case, then the Lakers would then have to work one or both of Max Christie or Dalton Connect into the deal, their 2 best young pieces. As it becomes clear after spending some time looking at salaries and in the trade machine, this kind of deal may be discussed, but it is unlikely to get done given how much has to be given up to do the money work for Butler. Jimmy's talent is undeniable. He's been to the NBA Finals as the main guy and would undoubtedly be an exciting player to pair with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.